President Trump out here discussing RFK Jr.'s endorsement of him as he sits down with Dr. Phil. Now, check this out. I think you guys will really appreciate what President Trump says here. And also, if there's some speculation about whether or not Kennedy endorsed Trump, just real quick, I mean, this is what I'm going off of. Okay, you could say you could talk semantics. You could say that, oh, RFK Jr. didn't endorse him. He supported him. I'm gonna tell you, I think it's the same thing. Okay, personally. Now that's my perspective. Let me know what you think about this in the comments. But this is President Trump whenever he found out that Kennedy supported him. Check this out.
RFK Jr. has offered his support to you and your campaign. How do you feel about that?
I'm very honored by it. He's a very smart guy, a different kind of a guy, but very smart, loves our country, has some, I think, very good views on a lot of different things. And I've known him for a long time. We've been somewhat friendly, actually. And I think he's going to be a great asset. And will I have him in the administration? It's possible. We haven't really discussed that, but it's possible.
I love how Trump says, it's possible. We haven't really discussed it. Like, yes, you have. Kennedy, in his address to the nation, literally said that they've been in very deep discussions about this. And if Trump keeps his word, then he will have significant influence over many things under the Trump administration. So that's exciting. So yeah, let's keep watching.
But I think he adds a lot. I think he adds a lot to the election. He's got a good following, tremendous following. I think he adds a lot to the election, and I think he adds a lot to if we win. I mean, he's got some very interesting ideas and good ideas.
Exactly. Kennedy, in his address to the nation, said that while they did try to destroy me, the ideas were able to breathe. And Trump has actually adopted many of his ideas. We talked about this on this channel before. We talked about his position on chronic disease. He talked about his position on Bitcoin. Those are just two examples of positions that were originally Kennedy's, but the ideas have been adopted. And here on this channel, we also discussed that I believe this is good. This is a marketplace of ideas. If there is a good idea, then that idea should be able to live and breathe in the marketplace. And if it wins, then it elevates to the top. And right now, unfortunately, agree with it, disagree with it, at the top of the tickets, it does look like it's primarily between Trump and Harris, right? And you could disagree with me if you're, not in a battleground state, you're not in a swing state. Go ahead, let me know in the comments. But I also wanted to share this video here. This was, again, at Trump Today, talking more about RFK Jr. And Trump's rally is actually going to be talking about Trump's rally later today in Phoenix. He has mentioned discussing Kennedy there. And yesterday, we talked about the special guest that is going to be at Trump's rally, and we kind of are assuming that it is Kennedy. So I don't know. Today's press conference, the address to the nation, kind of made it seem that way. So we'll see. But this is Trump today at a restaurant in Las Vegas. Check this out.
Endorsement from RFK Jr., Bobby. And I'll be talking about that. We're heading out right after this. We're going to be going to Arizona. We'll be talking about that. And
that's right. Going to Arizona to talk about pretty much Kennedy. Kennedy's address was in Phoenix, and now Trump is going to Phoenix as well. I believe it's starting already at 4:00, and he's gonna be sharing some thoughts. And I'm excited to see what his ideas are to include Kennedy under his administration, if that's part of the discussion. Which, again, if you were to watch the full video, we live streamed the entire thing, started at 11. And if you want to go ahead and see Kennedy's remarks directly from himself, go ahead and watch that video. But Kennedy spoke a lot about essentially working with the Trump administration, and yeah, go watch that video.
A lot of other things too, but I just want to thank everybody, and I want to thank Bobby. That was very nice. That was really very nice. That's big. He's a great guy, respected by everybody.
There we go. Yeah, Trump likes Kennedy. Trump respects Kennedy. So personally, I'm excited to see this future, and especially after watching RFK Jr.'s address to the nation, right? I believe he really set the record straight. He put so many things into perspective, and I think he spoke to his supporters in a good, honest way. He discussed about his chances of actually winning in November. He almost talked about his expectation. He discussed that he's not really comfortable taking people's money anymore or having his staff work overtime anymore if he doesn't see a clear path to the White House. So that's essentially why he did what he did. Again, I strongly recommend you watch the full video. It's going to be so much better hearing it from Kennedy himself than hearing me try to repeat it. But I also want to share this. This is a group of Kennedy supporters in Phoenix, Arizona, and they're kind of, you see them kind of aligning with Trump here, because this is before RFK Jr. actually made his announcement that he was essentially dropping out of many states. He'll still be on the ballot in, the majority of states, but he's exiting out of battleground states, in order to kind of prevent Kamala Harris from winning. So check this out. This is live on the ground people's perspective here, and these are Kennedy supporters.
You know, we have some newbies hopefully joining the Trump movement, and they're coming from the Kennedy camp. I want to introduce you to Caesar.
There we
Caesar,
go.
also a young American voter. You can see he's got the vote Kennedy Shanahan. And you know what? There are rumors that potentially Kennedy could come out and endorse Donald Trump today. Now, if that is the case, would you then change your vote from Kennedy to Trump?
Yes, I think anything that we can do to get Kennedy in a higher position is worth it.
Mhm.
I believe any decision that Kennedy makes, it comes from an enlightened place. So he has my full.
Absolutely. And real quick, before I let the video continue playing, I just want to say that there are a lot of people who I'm anticipating are going to be in the comment section. And I'm just going to say I don't think these people actually watched the Kennedy's full remarks in the address to the nation. And so if you are one of those people, please, keyboard warriors, watch the full video, because Kennedy's perspective, this guy's right. It is profound. It is enlightening. He really attacks probably the majority of your concerns. Okay. And again, like we've covered before, Kennedy doesn't really speak in sentences, he speaks in paragraphs. So it is a long video, but it is absolutely worth it, especially all of Kennedy's remarks. So yeah, this guy was right on. And yeah, let's keep watching.
Confidence and support in anything he decides to do.
The man has a beautiful heart. I will absolutely say that. And
Mhm.
Shanahan, his running mate, she is very well connected. She's from the Silicon Valley, very smart woman. I hope that that is the case today, and we could find out in just hours.
And we absolutely did find out. We did find out. Kennedy suspended his campaign effectively, and according to Laura Luber, this is going to give Trump an additional 8 to 12% boost over Kamala Harris. So that is going to be really, really interesting to see. Personally, I'm excited to see. Also, this marks a significant shift. This was this was a kind of a wild experience to see. I'm so grateful to have seen it live with a bunch of commenters, supporters. It was really, really neat, and it was emotional. It was emotional. We saw Nicole Shanahan's perspective pretty much all this week, and she's again standing behind Bobby. It's weird calling him Bobby, but she's standing behind RFK Jr. in this pursuit of saving children, saving the lives of young American children. And also, in case you were wondering what my perspective was during all of this, this was what I shared this morning, but before we actually knew what was happening. From the beginning, my perspective was always, if he's in, I'm in. Like, I align with Kennedy. I support Kennedy. I respect his vision for the future of this country. And if he's in, I'm in. And now, and now the election has changed. the election has changed. The election has changed monumentally so many times over the past couple of months, and it is really interesting. And I will also play out this video that was shared by Holden. It's a 2-minute video, and this describes essentially his 3 main reasons for taking a step back and endorsing President Trump. Check this out. I think a lot of you guys will really appreciate it. Again, I recommend you guys watching the full video, but check this out.
In my heart, I no longer believe that I have a realistic path to electoral victory in the face of this relentless.
Yeah, and also already I'm getting like endless comments from people saying that, oh, no, Kennedy's still in it. Kennedy could still win. And a lot of these people are just, I believe they're a bit ignorant. And I think it's important to hear this straight from Kennedy himself. Okay. Kennedy, who is there's no one more pro Kennedy than Kennedy. You know what I mean? So I urge you to just take a step back and listen to his words. And it probably pains you. It probably pains you as it pained me to hear these, as it pains him to say it. Okay, if you watch the live stream, you'll see that I cried. I cried on the live stream because this was emotional. This was hard to watch. And I believe this came from a pure and sincere place. And Kennedy just wants what's best for this country. And I believe that he found a way to make that happen. So, or at least a way for impact to be made from him at a grand scale. Check this out.
Relentless systematic censorship and media control. So I cannot in good conscience ask my staff and volunteers to keep working their long hours or ask my donors to keep giving when I cannot honestly tell them that I have a real path to the White House. Furthermore, our polling consistently showed that by staying on the ballot in the battleground states, I would likely hand the election over to the Democrats with whom I disagree on the most existential issues: censorship, war, and chronic disease. Oh, I want everyone to know that I am not terminating my campaign. I am simply suspending it and not ending it. My name my name will remain on the ballot in most states. If you live in a blue state, you can vote for me without harming or helping President Trump or Vice President Harris. In red states, the same will apply. I encourage you to vote for me. And if enough of you do vote for me, and neither of the major party candidates win 270 votes, which is quite possible. In fact, today our polling shows them tying at 269 to 269. And I could conceivably still end up in the White House in a contingent election. But
there you go. I love that crowd.
In about 10 battleground states where my presence would be a spoiler, I'm going to remove my name. And I've already started that process and urge voters not to vote for me.
Also, really, really quick, I want to show people, because still during our live stream, I was getting a lot of comments of people saying that they're going to be writing him in. Like, they don't care if he's not on the ballot, they're still going to be writing him in. And I want to share this leaked document of him taking his name out of the Arizona ballot. Check this out, because I think this is really interesting, and this is why I don't think writing him in, if you are in a battleground state like Arizona, that's why I don't think this is the best idea for you to write him in. This is right here, his name, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Officer President of the United States, 2024. And this is what he's agreeing to, or what he's requesting that the state of Arizona does: that they will not print my name on the ballot for this office, okay? And that they will not count or tabulate any votes which may be case for me for this office. All right? So Kennedy Jr. himself signed this yesterday, saying that he's almost desperately telling you, asking his supporters. So if you consider yourself an RFK Jr. supporter, I would take these words really, really heavily, because he's essentially saying that your vote will not count for him if you are in a battleground state. Okay? That's what this is saying. Okay? He's urging them not to count, not to count any votes for him for this office. So I'm not saying you can't write him in. Okay, you absolutely can. And I mentioned this on the live. You absolutely can write him in, but only do that if you are comfortable knowing that your vote might not count. Okay? If you are still comfortable with your vote not counting and you understand this, then feel free. But if you want your vote to have some weight and actually count towards some future, I I would take that heavily. Okay? Let's continue.
It's with a sense of victory and not defeat that I'm suspending my campaign activities. Not only did we do the impossible by collecting 1 million signatures, we changed the national political conversation forever.
That's right.
Chronic disease, free speech, government corruption, breaking our addiction to war have moved to the center of politics. I can say to all who have worked so hard the last year and a half, thank you for a job well done. 3 great causes drove me to enter this race in the first place, primarily. And these are the principal causes that persuaded me to leave the Democratic Party and run as an independent. And now to throw my support to President Trump. The causes were free speech, a war in Ukraine, and the war on our children.
Wow. Again, I strongly recommend you guys watch the whole video, but geez, I already saw this and I can't believe I'm tearing up again for this guy, or for this for this speech. But you could just tell how heartbroken he is to say these words. You could tell that you could just tell that it's coming from such a pure place. He didn't want this election to turn out this way. But more than that, he's putting his country first. More than he wants to win, he wants to put his country first. And I just love that so much. I I really do. So I have a lot of respect for Kennedy today, and I'm I'm really excited to see what happens in the future. I really am. And Kennedy here says that he considers this a victory. And I got to tell you, I completely agree, because you know what happens? You know what happened here in 2024? A third party candidate created so much noise that was essentially created in part due to the DNC's commitment to silencing and suffocating this campaign. And it did such a great job that it essentially handed the next this upcoming election to Trump. Okay? Because of how drastic the DNC's efforts have been towards silencing Kennedy. And I'm excited to see what this partnership between Kennedy and Trump does. Really, I think it will be historic. I do believe this is a unity party ticket, and I do think this is a victory, because you know what? Kennedy, I think he punched a hole. You know, we had a conversation with Larry Sharp, and Larry Sharp talked about, like, we got to punch a hole, we got to break a hole, and I think that hole was broken today. And you want to know how I know it was broken today? Check this out. Look at this, guys. I could be wrong here. You let me know if I'm wrong here. I don't think I am, but you let me know if I'm wrong here. When was the last time, if ever, if Kamala HQ has ever posted about RFK Jr.? When did that ever happen? Has that ever happened? I don't think so. In the history of Kamala Harris being at top of the ticket, has Kamala HQ ever regarded Kennedy? I don't think so. I don't think so. Go look at her personal page too. I don't think they ever did. But today, after RFK Jr. actually addressed the nation, and through his support to Trump, now Kamala Harris is throwing shade back at Kennedy. And you want to know why that's interesting? Because you're not a threat if people aren't talking about you. As soon as people start talking about you, that's when you know you've become a threat and you've actually punched a hole. Okay? So that's how I know Kennedy punched a hole. And again, this is like about Kennedy and Trump, but Kennedy, like, already you've seen this video. We've played this video many times on this channel. Kennedy says like 3 things here, and it's just one word. It's here.
And anyway, I would love you to just,
He just says, yeah, the whole time. He just says, yeah, very short. But again, now we know, as Kennedy addressed the nation, Kennedy said that they actually had really long and meaningful conversations talking about chronic health, right? So that's great. And okay, before I leave, I will say, I'll just share a couple perspectives of what I've been seeing here lately. Dr. Ben Braddock says, as a Kennedy Democrat, I will be casting my ballot for Trump in the upcoming election. I think that's really interesting, and I know there's a lot of Kennedy supporters here, so I'm wondering how you're feeling here. I'm wondering if you agree with that statement, or if you're still on the fence. Okay, let me know. Blair White says, in a world that makes sense, the election would be between RFK Jr. and Trump. The next best thing is RFK Jr. and Trump unifying to save our country from these beep beeps. Thank you, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. And also more support, again, from kind of these parties, or essentially these parties uniting. Gator Gar says, Kennedy supporter here. If you're MAGA and want to be friends, now's the time to start. Follow me for a follow back. I bet we agree on more than we disagree about. Absolutely. I completely agree with that. And I'll say one other thing that I believe is true. I just posted this picture. Let me know. Is this real? Is this real? From what I'm seeing on my end, I think that's real. Dave Smith also has some words here. I'm glad that RFK Jr. ran. I think we're a better country for it. I know I've been hard on him at times, but from the bottom of my heart, thank you, Bobby Kennedy. Yeah. So this was today was historic. Today was really interesting. I'd love to know how you guys feel about all this. Let me know your thoughts and your perspective in the comment section. I'm excited to read where you guys are. I know you guys are really passionate about this, and yeah, I'm willing to hear with an open heart. Tell me your story. Tell me where you're at. Let's talk about it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Also, if you want to see the entire live stream, I really recommend you guys go watch it. It's really long. It's about 2 hours, but I think it's great. I pull up a lot of comments. I get people's live feedback and experience, and I think it was just a really great experience. I'm going to try to do more of those live experiences, and yeah. Okay. I'll see y'all next time, and hope you have a great day. Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching and listening. I appreciate your time so much, and I really hope you enjoyed this episode. If you'd like to support what we're building here, please like and subscribe. It means a lot, and it really helps us out. And if you want to see even more content from me, make sure to follow me on Instagram. I'm going to be sharing a lot more on there. Thank you so much. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.